Okay, y'all, we are recording and wanted to remind everybody real quick that we are, this is a Zoom call and you are on camera right now unless you choose to turn off your video or just face the computer or phone in a different direction. I always like to tell people that we are on video just in case you are multitasking or you're not aware that you are on video. We've seen some crazy stuff on these calls, so I just like to give everybody a heads up before we start. But tonight's call is called, I named it the top 5 fears that we have with the business and how to overcome them. You know, this is one of those things that I think, you can tell by how many people are on the call and getting on the call that it is a struggle for nearly every single person out there, including myself. We all struggle with going through these fears of different things, but in order to be successful, we have to overcome them. And I kind of went through and actually heard a video that I posted not too long ago on the team page from an Emerald ambassador named Robin Sullivan. And she related these fears back to the book of Exodus in the Bible, and it was fantastic. So I do not want to copy what she did. So I took those 5 fears and I kind of dug a little deeper. And she just did a quick video on her team page. So I kind of wanted to do like a full-blown call so I could dig a little deeper into these fears and kind of what they mean, why we have them, and how to overcome them. So we'll go ahead and jump right into this. If you have a pen and paper, take some notes, because this stuff, I typed up a couple of notes for myself. And I know when I listened to Robin's call, I was furiously taking notes because it really touched on something that a lot of people are dealing with. So I want to, let's take this head on and let's just go through these and knock them out. The first fear is fear of inadequacy. That's probably one of the biggest ones that I think we face, because we are afraid to act. We are afraid to talk about the products. We're afraid to talk about the business with anybody because we don't think we know enough. I know when I started the business, I knew nothing. But I told people that, when people first wanted to order from me or find out what products I was taking, I just told them what I knew. And I was very forthcoming with, if people had questions for me, I would immediately go ask my upline. I relied heavily on Andrea for a long, long time because I was afraid that someone was going to ask me something and I would not know the answer. But after a while, I got to the point where I'm going to go look for the answer. And, I just have to know these things. But it took a while for me to feel like I was adequate. And there are times when we're talking about the products, I'm not a product guru. And so whenever people ask me questions about, what's the specific ingredient that addresses, I'm like, you know what? I don't know, but I'll get you the answer. People fear inadequacy and they won't post on Facebook. It's like, well, what if someone asks me about it? Or what if I look like I don't know what I'm doing and I'm just not going to do it? I don't have a big before and after picture. So I'm going to wait until I get that magic before and after before I post, because then people will know I know what I'm talking about. Totally normal. Everybody goes through this. But how do we overcome that inadequacy? First of all, we have to identify the source of inadequacy. Maybe it was something in childhood. Maybe it was something that someone told you, you're not going to amount to anything. There are people that say that to people. A lot of times that comes from family and close friends. They, maybe you've had some previous failures in your life. Maybe it was at a job. Maybe it was a relationship. Maybe maybe your boss. Everyone has had these crazy bosses that tell you, they burn you, they hit you right in the heart and tell you kind of your work is just not good enough. And we carry that with us. We are not born with this feeling. We're not born feeling inadequate, but we learn it. We learn it from people who tell us that and constantly ingrain that into us. But the cool thing is that we can unlearn it. But we have, in order to do that, we have to monitor those feelings that we get. And, all these feelings I'm talking about are most of the time are up here. It's our mind. It's Satan telling us that we don't know enough. Like, why do you want to post on Facebook? It's not like you know anything. Not like anybody's going to believe you. Why would you talk to that person about Plexus? You don't know what you're talking about. Yeah, that's Satan in our ear, and he will always be there. So we have to find things that will combat what he's trying to do. So monitor those feelings and those thoughts and reject the negative stuff. Everybody's like, oh, that's great. Yeah, just say reject that thought. But you know what? If you capture that thought, if you hold it captive and you go, I'm not going to believe that anymore. It's just like we learned this, we have to unlearn it. You have to continually, combat that negative thought with something positive. And, a lot of times, you may have heard this on your teams, let's write down 3 positive affirmations and write them down and keep them by your computer. I have my team do this a lot, just because as long as we're on this side of heaven, we are going to have Satan trying to discourage us. And we have to be constantly aware of what he's trying to do. And if you write those positive affirmations down, you will be successful, but you have to learn to believe them yourself. I have 3 that I like. They are my go-to positive affirmations, and they are never give up, be productive every day and take action, and I ask God to keep Satan away from my business every day. I either read those or say those, and just kind of think, all right, this is it. No matter what comes at me today, I'm not giving up. I'm going to be productive, because y'all, action dispels fear. If we are sitting there, the more you sit and do nothing, the more fear you're going to have. And then I also ask God, I'm like, please keep Satan out of my head, out of my business today. So inadequacy. And y'all, these build on one another, and they all are cousins. They're all friends. These fears are all, intertwined. So if you have one, 9 times out of 10, you're going to have all the rest of them. So let's go into number 2. Number 2 is the fear of embarrassment. 100% of the world has this in them. It's just human nature. We do not want to, we just are so afraid of what people think. And when you hear those people, they're like, oh, I don't care what people think. Those are the people that really deep down, they care more than people who say they don't care. So the fear of what people think, this will kill your business. This right here, the fear of what people think, keeps you bogged down where you are. It will not let you get to the next level. If you are sitting there like, I'm afraid to post on Facebook because I'm scared, what if someone says something? And I thought that for a hot second. And then I posted and people wanted to reach out and ask me what Plexus was. And then I'm like, oh, okay, well, there's actually people out there that want to hear about this. So that kind of made me a little more brave. Fear of embarrassment also stems from an insecurity of not knowing enough, which is that inadequacy that we just talked about. Friends and family will be naysayers. They will. The people that hurt us the very most are not those people who, we don't know that well or we don't really care that much about. They are the people that are closest to us and love us. And that's just how it is. I have talked to many ambassadors who they have these great friends or these BFFs. And then when it comes to their Plexus success, their BFFs are like, I can't believe you're doing that. I can't believe this. This is so dumb. Why are you doing that? Those are not true friends. So if you're on this call and you have friends who are not supporting you in your business, they are not your true friends. True friends are with you 100% of the time. But family and friends will be naysayers, and we need to expect that. But we are so afraid of feeling embarrassed, like them saying something to us, and then we're feeling inadequate. We're feeling embarrassed. We're getting, for me, when I get embarrassed, my face turns red and gets hot, and I get like sweaty. And then I'm like, oh, this moment needs to just end. But we just get real awkward and nervous. But we have to expect that. And that goes with every single thing in life. But most importantly, when you are successful, you're going to have people that are naysayers that they don't like. People don't like to see other people be successful. And it is a shame, but it is the truth. Another thing is fear of embarrassment can make people have kind of a social anxiety. Like I kind of associated this one with they do not want to host meetings, or they don't want to do trainings with their team, or they don't want to do Zoom calls because they are so afraid that they're going to feel embarrassed. And again, it goes back to the inadequacy. Like, I can't hold a Zoom call. I can't hold an opportunity meeting. I don't know enough. What if I say the wrong thing? Or what if I don't get my testimony out the way I should? We're embarrassed. I did not want to do an opportunity meeting my first couple of months with the business. Number one, I was like, I don't really know what I'm doing. That fear of inadequacy. And then what if I do a meeting and nobody comes to it? Or I make a big deal about hosting a meeting and I'm the only one there. Y'all, that's happened to me before. I held a meeting, did all these graphics for it. Y'all, I had 3 people. One was my babysitter keeping my kids at my house. So it might or might not happen. I guarantee you there are diamonds in this company who have had this happen to them. They did a meeting. They were embarrassed. They didn't know what to do. No one came. And that makes you feel like a total failure. Part of it. But it happens. It happened to me. And you know what I did? I told my testimony to my 3 people, including my babysitter. And I got better. I got better at telling my testimony. And I'm thinking, you know what? I got an opportunity meeting under my belt. Yeah, 3 people showed, but you know what? I'm going to be ready for the next one. So don't let the fear of embarrassment keep you to where you have social anxiety and you will not host an opportunity meeting or a training for your team or sip and see. That feeling when you stumble over your words, fear of embarrassment, if you're out in public and someone, this happens all the time. It's happened to me before. When someone, maybe you're wearing your Plexus shirt and you're out in public and someone is like, oh, what's Plexus? And you immediately freeze because you're like, it's one of these things that I started doing it. It's on the side. It's not a big deal. I sell Plexus and, I just got into it for a discount. And before you know it, you're like looking down like, oh, it's not a big deal. Fear of embarrassment. It's like, be proud. If you have unwavering belief in this company, you love the products, you love the business, be proud to talk to people about Plexus. But that's part of it. We're going to feel that way. We're going to feel put on the spot because that need of like acceptance from people and acceptance from our friends and family. So how do you overcome embarrassment? Remember, this is probably my most important thing. Remember this, healthy people will not be naysayers and make you feel embarrassed. Healthy people will not do that. If you're making a list, you're like, I have family members that keep being naysayers and they tear me down and they tell me this is never going to work and they don't believe in me. I would question whether they are a healthy person. I'm not saying they are unhealthy. I would just question it because this business has transformed lives. And I've seen it happen. It has happened to myself. It has happened to people that I know personally. I have seen this change their life. I have unwavering belief in this company, in this business. But you know what? There are going to be, as long as, like I said, as long as we are on this side of heaven, we will have naysayers and negative people in our ear. We have to expect it. But remember, stay around the healthy people. And stop apologizing for not knowing enough. Like, oh, I'm sorry. I don't know. A lot of times I think it's a woman thing too. Men don't usually apologize for things like we do, I guess. And that's not across the board. But, I find myself doing that at times when it's like, oh, sorry. And it's like, we haven't even started talking yet, but I'm already apologizing. Don't apologize for the products or the business or anything that you're doing. Or, oh, I'm sorry for blowing up your news feed. Or, oh, I'm sorry, I'm posting about Plexus too much. Really? I'm not sorry for it. I'm not sorry for sharing hope with people. I'm not sorry for sharing the incredible testimonials. I'm sorry that you keep posting about your animals and your cat. That makes me sorry for you, but I'm not sorry for that. And we shouldn't be sorry for that. Also, find a sideline or maybe your upline, someone who you can kind of be open and honest with and tell your feelings to, and because every single person has a situation in their life that has made them feel embarrassed. Maybe it's with Plexus. Maybe you guys can share, hey, man, this is what I felt when I had to do this meeting, or I'm kind of feeling this way. I'm really nervous. I'm not comfortable with myself. As you work through this business and you move up to the next level, you got to step up and lead. And a lot of times that means hosting Zoom calls. A lot of times that means hosting meetings. You have to get comfortable with yourself to be able to do that and be comfortable in front of the camera and comfortable in front of others, and stop that feeling of embarrassment. But get a sideline. Get someone that is doing this business with you, and you guys can go, oh man, I feel this is what I'm fearing. I feel like I don't know enough. I'm like so petrified to do a meeting. Y'all encourage one another. Don't get together with somebody and start bashing and then turn negative. Build each other up, encourage each other through this business. Also, keep your attention on the future of your business, not on the past. That is, if we keep talking about, last month was so rough. I only signed this many ambassadors, or I didn't sign anybody. It was terrible. Since the back office, it's just, my PV's down. If it weren't for the back office, this would, pity party city. Guys, we can see that the back office was rough, but there are people ranking up like nobody's business because were foreseeing that the back office was an issue, and they worked around it. And that's what we have to do. We cannot let things like that come into our life take over and just like kill us. We have to focus on the future. And you know what? Maybe you had a bad month, but you know what? This is a new month. We are going to push all the way to the end, and we are going to forget what happened in the past and work on the future. So that was number 2. Number 3 is the fear of rejection. And this is a big one. It will happen. That's 100% guaranteed. It will happen in this business. It's happened to me, and it stings. But you know what? For me, it stings a little while, and then that just is a driving force for me. It pushes me even harder because I'm like, okay, but don't let that kill your business. People are so deathly afraid of being rejected that they'd rather not be successful. They would rather not try because they are so scared of rejection. And y'all, that will keep you in the same spot that you are today next year. When I was working full time, I wanted to stop working and stay at home with my kids so bad that I was like, I don't care who makes fun of me. I don't care who, I've had people say, I'm going to unfriend you if I see another post about Plexus. And I'm like, bye, Felicia. And I kept right on posting. I did not care. I'm like, I don't care if you make fun of me. I don't care if you say no. I don't care if you block me, unfriend me. Don't care, because I'm going straight to the top, and I'm going to achieve my goals, and I'm going to stay home with my kids, period. And I might get rejected, but don't care. It stings. Yes. I'm not going to say like, oh, it doesn't bother me at all for people to reject me. Our human nature are like just something inside of us wants acceptance so bad. So that is a huge fear for people. They just will not act, and they would rather just stay in their little comfort zone, in their little, area where no one's going to say anything about them. No one's going to question them. And y'all, the people who do that will not move from their current spot. They will not break free. You have to break free from that. We fear the loss of approval from others. We want approval. We want people to tell everybody. We just want those people to kind of approve what we're doing and say, oh yeah, I believe in the products. You're doing something great. And again, going back to that fear of embarrassment, we're going to have the haters, and haters do not want to admit that we're successful. They don't want us to be successful. So we have to always, I'm trying to mute, someone went unmuted. Okay. We have to remember that there will be the naysayers. They will reject us because a lot of times, y'all, it can be jealousy. Those closest to us, again, will reject us. I've heard a ton of people say they have very close family members who reject them and just go, that is the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Same. That's linked with the embarrassment. These go hand in hand. But all of these fears have to do with rejection. Our big fear, what builds in us that causes these other things, is the fear of rejection. Oh, we don't want to feel that way. We want everybody to love what we're doing all the time, and that's just not going to happen. This is a top fear for most people. But overcoming rejection is hard because we don't want people to do that. But I'm telling you, guys, when you hear somebody reject you, it should drive you to be even better than who you are. It should drive you like, okay, they are not ready to be blessed. And that's what I have said many, many times to people who feel like they've been rejected. I'm like, you know what? That should drive you, because the next time it's not going to be as bad. Some people get upset or they reject us when they're like, oh, so you feel like you're called to do Plexus. Okay. Yeah. Right. All right. Cool. Because this girl who did the fear call, she said she feels like she is called to do Plexus and called to tell others. I feel the same way. I am called to encourage women, to push people outside their comfort zone, and I use Plexus to do that. I am sharing what God wants me to share with my teams. I am helping people achieve their goals and giving people hope. That is what I do. Family members, I'm seeing a lot of people speak up and talk on the messenger, and every single person they're saying is a family member, very, very close to them. And y'all, it's going to happen. I can't tell you it won't, and I can't tell you it's all going to be okay and you're never going to get hurt. It's going to happen. But, let's talk about some ways that we can overfear those. Like I said, we have all been given this blessing of Plexus. God has worked it out where we saw a post, or we reached out to someone, or they reached out to us at just the right time when we needed it, and gave us hope. Either gave us hope for better health, or gave us hope for better financial situation, or both. I know for me, I was at the time I had lost my brother suddenly and had gone through this deep depression over a year. And then about a year and a half later, I started coming out of it and saw Andrea's post. So God knew exactly what I needed. He knew the desires of my heart, and that was to stay home with my kids. And he brought me Plexus. So when people go, God didn't bring this to you, this is like another one of those things that's just going to, 2 years down the road, it's going to be gone. So all you people who go, I'm called, okay. Y'all, we are dealers of hope. We have heard this term used over and over. We are hope dealers. We give people hope for their future. People are laying awake at night worried about their finances. A lot of people worry about their health, but more people lay awake at night worried about their finances and how they're going to cover the next bill and how they're going to make the ends meet. And, oh man, is my check going to last to the end of the month, or what am I going to have to go take out a loan? And how are we going to pay our credit card bills off? Y'all, people are laying awake at night worrying about these things, and it is our responsibility. I feel it's our responsibility to share with them the hope that Plexus gives people. If they reject it, they are straight not ready to be blessed. And you have to take it that way. If someone rejects you and they're like, no, I'm not interested. I had someone who was a dream teamer of mine, and I thought she would be great at the business. She's real outgoing. She's on social media. She has all the things of a rock star person that would go diamond with, a blink of an eye. And I reached out to her, and she just ripped my heart out with her response. And it was just so, I don't know. I still obviously I still have an issue with it, but I was just so kind of shocked by her approach, and it hurt my feelings. But you know what? I use that to go, I'm not scared of anybody. I am going to take this with a grain of salt, and I'm going to move on. And she's not ready to be blessed for whatever reason. God is not ready to bless her. And y'all, I truly believe this. And if you think I'm wacko, then you'll just have to think I'm wacko. But I don't believe that God will open the eyes of somebody and bless them with this business unless they are at the point where they are living in his will and he wants to show them the opportunity. That's pretty deep for a Zoom call, but that is what I truly believe, that God's not going to open someone's eyes to this opportunity unless they're ready and unless he's ready to bless them. So keep that in mind. Keep sharing. Focus on sharing of how you want to feel rather than how you don't want to feel. You want to share your love for the products. You want to share your love for the business. If someone rejects that, okay, they're not ready. They are not ready. We should not try to, convince them or try to message them over and over and over when they're not ready. We kind of know that limit when you get to that, and you kind of sense that. But keep sharing with confidence, conviction, and boldness. Conviction is what makes you love the business and love the product so much. Why? What is that deep down why? We've talked about this so many times. What is that why that makes you cry? And what does it mean to your family if you achieve that why? We're like, oh, I want to make a little extra money. Nobody wants to make a little extra money. Everybody wants to make a lot of extra money. So don't sell yourself short. Dig down deep in your heart and remember, what is that why? Why are you doing this? Why are you willing to put yourself out there to possibly be rejected? For me, it was like, I'm putting myself out there because I want to be successful, because I know at the end of the tunnel, I see that light, and that light is staying home with my twins. And I was willing to be vulnerable and put myself out there. So share with confidence, conviction, and boldness. All right, let's move into number 4, fear of comparison. Huge. Y'all know this one. Comparison is the thief of joy. We've seen those cute graphics floating around, and you're like, yeah, obviously it's the thief of joy. Y'all, it really is. It is deep down to a T. Comparison is linked to jealousy. We are just straight up jealous of people that do really well in this business, in anything. When we look on Facebook and someone has the perfect figure, the perfect life, the perfect house, they stay home, they have their kids all perfectly dressed, we are just straight up jealous of them. We are comparing what they have to what we don't have. And y'all, this comparison, it it lurks down deep in our minds. It's there. And if we continue to feed it and we continue to go through this comparison thing, and I use this as an example a lot, the people who are ranking up. If we look at people ranking up and we're like, they've ranked up like 3 times. I'm like going backwards in points. This is dumb. I don't even know why I'm doing this. I wish I could just have it easy for me like she does. And then all of a sudden, and especially women, we can create all kind of scenarios in our head as a result of one thought. And it will destroy us. We cannot compare ourselves. It leads to destruction, and it will lead to a failed business. I had one of my close friends that joined me in Plexus 2 years ago, and she went gold. Woo, she was on a roll. Went gold, and then maybe had a rough month, maybe in the summer, or I don't remember what the situation was, but rough as in she didn't rank to the next level. You know, she had a build month, and she saw these people ranking up around her. And, you know, to go gold, you need 20 to 30 people on your team. That did something to her, and month after month, she would compare herself, and she would message me, and it was just like, oh my goodness, we are spiraling out of control. The negativity increased, the griping increased, the messages like, I wish I could be like so-and-so, they're this, that, and the other. And y'all, she ended up losing every single person on her team and going inactive. And it hurts me because she was a personal friend of mine, but she let it get the best of her. And it spiraled out of control to the point where she gave up. And, you know, we spend so much time convincing ourselves that we can't be successful. If we spent half the time we do on convincing ourselves that we can do this and we do have what it takes, that as we do that of convincing ourselves that we can't, you guys would be diamonds. I would be triple diamond. But we constantly have to deal with that daily struggle of comparing others' journey to ours. We look at rank ups, and when we're not ranking up, we do the comparison. Y'all know what I'm talking about. We feel like a failure almost when other people are successful. And that's human nature, that sin nature gets to us. But we should not feel like a failure when other people rank up. You know, when I have a month when I don't rank up, I am like, oh, I have to work harder. I'm going to do it. That is going to drive me to get to that next level. And it just fuels me. And so that's the thing that we need to be aware of, that comparison, it happens. Us as women, you know, we do it every time. We will see, I mean, it's almost, we can see a woman a mile away and we're like, oh, she's skinny. Look at her. What's she wearing? And by the time she gets up here, we have created this scenario. We're like, she is so rude. I can't believe she tried to come up in here with that outfit on. She needs to just go. And I'm like, what in the world is wrong with us? But that is what we do as women. If there are men on this call, y'all probably are like, you're crazy. But it's just something that we all struggle with. But overcoming comparison, you know, this is our journey. It's your journey. It's not someone else's. It's not, my journey does not look like Celeste's journey. My journey does not look like Jen Hawkins' journey. My journey is for me. My journey is about what goes into the daily things that I deal with, my family, my job, whatever I have going on. That is who I should compare myself to, not other people. You know, we can do this. You can do this. You just have to believe you can. If you do not believe you can do this, you're right. If you continually convince yourself that you cannot be successful with Plexus, you will do a great job and you will be successful with that. So every day we need to thank God of what He has given us and what He has blessed us with. You know, if you're having a month where you're like, I'm not ranking up, I want to go to the next level, but look at all these people going. Thank God for what you have, because he could take it all away tomorrow. And he could do it whenever he wants. He could take it all the way tomorrow and have nothing. So every day we need to be thankful for what he's given us. And we need to have an attitude of gratitude. Be gracious, be thankful for what he has blessed us with. Also, this is a big one. God will give you what you need when you need it. He's not gonna, if he wants you to go diamond in 6 months, you know what? You're going diamond in 6 months. You just have to let him be in the driver's seat and him control that. But these lessons that we learn, I had to learn some hard lessons. Working full time and trying to go be a diamond at the same time is not an easy task. It was blood, sweat, and tears. And I had to give 120% every day. And it wasn't something that I'm like, yeah, I just kicked back and chilled and I went diamond. I had to learn some lessons. God had me learn so many things about myself. Y'all, this is such a self-development journey that we're on. And we have to learn some lessons about our personality, about our leadership style, about what makes us uncomfortable, how to overcome these fears. But it is a journey and we are in it, and we should not compare it to anyone else. And y'all, these lessons that we are learning, it takes time. It's not something like, okay, God, I got it. It's a slow week. Got it. Let's move on. I'm ready. I'm ready to see those emails flow in. Come on. I'm ready right now. God has stuff. He's like, okay, hold on. You need to pour into your team. He may be trying to teach you something that you're not even aware of. He teaches me something I'm not aware of all the time. So take those lessons as something to help you. They're going to help you grow. They're going to help you be a better person. All right, let's tackle number 5, and we will be out of here. The last one is fear of commitment. And, people think, oh, fear of commitment is a relationship type thing. You can kind of identify with that if you're thinking a relationship. Maybe you're thinking of a relationship where the couple has been dating for an extended period of time. And it's like, dude, this guy just will not marry her. And I talk about relationships a lot because my husband is a minister at our church, and he counsels a lot of couples about this very thing. But when people are not committed, that means one of them is not all in. They're like, oh, it might be we used to call it the BBD. The bigger, better deal is out there, and I'm going to wait for the BBD. We cannot wait for the BBD. We have to take action. So fear of commitment, we're not all in. We're afraid to commit because it takes work. We're like, man, I really don't want to say I don't want to be on the coaching page because then I might have to actually put in effort. I don't really want to do that because I like the Game of Thrones. I like my Walking Dead. I like my shows. So I don't really want to commit to doing this business. So I'm going to, I'm going to dibble dabble in things. People that dibble dabble, they don't just dibble dabble in Plexus. They do it in all areas of their life. They can't commit. These are the people that can't commit to doing IPAs. They can't commit to reaching out or hosting opportunity meetings or being bold or being vulnerable or posting regularly on Facebook. They're just like, man, you know what? I'm so busy this week. I've got a crazy week. Oh, I do too. My kids have sports, so I got 3 baseball games. Really? What, a baseball game? Yeah, sitting there for 3 hours. You know what? I got a meeting. Or, we are so good like that. I know I am. If I don't want to do something, I can find every excuse that sounds good. Have y'all ever rehearsed excuses in your head? Like, all right, if they want us to go, we'll just, okay, here's my top 3. That one, that doesn't sound too good. But this one, we rehearse them in our head. Like, that sounds good. And we can convince ourselves that is a real excuse. That is like something real. Like, I am so busy. I just literally do not have time. And y'all, now I'm very conscious of saying, oh, I'm so busy, I don't know if I can do that. That's just not true. If I don't want to do something, I can make an excuse, but guys, we have to be real conscious of that. Me too. People that wait for it to happen. This is another one that I've seen some posts like this, and people are like, in God's timing, I'm waiting for it to happen. He's just going to bring it on me. It's going to poof, going to bring it on me. It's kind of like, I put an example. I have no idea why my PV is so low and why my team's not growing. It's like, where you been, girl? You've been MIA. I have no idea what's happened. We're waiting for it to happen. We're waiting for God to just like rank us up without putting in effort. God wants to teach us lessons, like I said, but he's just not going to give it to you. He gives you the tools that you need so you can work, and he will bless. But you have to work so he can bless. Overcoming the fear of commitment. Here's some things to ask yourself. Ask yourself why you won't commit. Why am I not wanting to commit? Is it a fear? Are you afraid of failure? Most people say, yeah, I don't want to jump all in because what if I don't succeed? But a lot of people, this is something odd that I've learned through Plexus. A lot of people are afraid of success. They are afraid to be successful because they have no idea what that looks like. They have never been successful in their life, and they're just not comfortable with what that looks like for them. And their fears of inadequacy, their fears of embarrassment, their fears of all rejection, all these things build up so much that they're afraid to be successful because, man, I don't think I can do that. Think about this. Have you ever been non-committal in the past about a big situation? And why? Why is that? Just think about those things. And most importantly, y'all, draw your line in the sand. If you are sitting there thinking, man, we are straight broke. If I don't make this work, this is it. This is the last straw. We're barely holding it together. I have to make this work. Draw your line in the sand. Y'all, there are diamonds who did this. They were broke as a joke, borrowed money to get into the business, and they're diamonds at the top of the company making crazy, insane income. But they drew their line in the sand and they refused to fail. They're like, I don't care what it takes. I hate where I currently am and I refuse to be there one day longer. I'm going to put my nose to the grindstone and I'm going to work and I'm going to get out of this hole that I'm in. Commit to making that happen. I like to write things out. We're always on our phone and we're so kind of chained to technology. But I think writing it out really helps because, it kind of strains your arm a little bit when you write something out, but it helps me remember it more. And I stick it somewhere where I'll see it every day. But commit to making it happen. Commit to those IPAs. Commit to reaching out every single day. Y'all, I reached out when I was working full time. I reached out to new people every single day, Monday through Friday. I didn't do it on the weekends. I reached out to people every single day because I knew if I stopped, I would go backwards and I would not achieve my goal. I'm highly competitive with myself and I drove myself every day. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to commit every day. I'm going to reach out to 5 brand new people. If I run out of people, I'm going to go find me some people, but I'm reaching out to 5 brand new people every day. I'm going to commit to posting on Facebook 3 to 5 times a day. And, people are like, 3 to 5 times a day. I'm not posting that much. Just think about every time you log on to Facebook, if you count the number of times you pick up your phone and you click the Facebook app, if you posted that many times a day, it would probably be almost 100 times. If you counted the number of times that you clicked on the thing to see what's going on Facebook, Commit to posting regularly on Facebook. Commit to, if you have people on your team, commit to reaching out to them every week and finding out, hey, how's it going? Do you need anything? How's your business going? How you feeling? Are there any areas where I can help you? Maybe do a training with them. Commit to going to opportunity meetings and events. Commit to hosting a sip and see and a training. Guys, these are the things that it takes to get to the top. A lot of times when we jump on calls, we want to hear the magic potion that, oh, I'm going to get on this call because they're going to tell us what it takes to get to the top. You know, there's kind of a common thing. These IPAs that we keep talking about, the income producing activities. If scrolling Facebook was an IPA, we would be bazillionaires. I would be a bazillionaire right now because that is just human nature. We love to do it. We love to see what's going on. And, you know, as soon as I can't wait to get off this call so I can check my Facebook and see what's going on. It's just what we do. But commit to making things happen. Commit to doing those income producing activities every day. And most importantly, biggest thing of all is don't give up. These 5 fears will, if we don't overcome them, they will kill our business. They will kill our joy. And guys, we have so much to offer people. We have hope for people out there. A lot of them don't know it yet. But we have to keep telling people about it and keep sharing in order to open their eyes to what we have. So that was my fear call. I appreciate y'all being on it, and I tried to get it done in a timely manner so it wouldn't go over 10 o'clock. But if you have any questions or something to share, feel free to message your upline or message me, and we will address those. Also, this call is recorded, and as soon as it uploads to my computer, I will post it on our team page so everybody can check it out. Or if you have somebody on your team that wasn't able to make it, feel free to send it to them. But y'all have a great night and go Plexus.
Thanks, Ellen.